Do I like peaches? Well, let's say there were some cotton candy grapes and some blueberries and some peaches on a counter. I would eat the cotton candy grapes first, then I would eat the blueberries, and then I would eat the peaches. That's how much I like peaches. What about you? I'm very curious to know. This is going to be Johnny Cash's last interview, 2003. And my name is Matt Criscuolo, coming to you up close and personal. So let's check this out. Now, I actually was in Nashville not long ago, so I was really enjoying the Johnny Cash Museum. If you haven't been, you should go. It was really cool. And small too, actually small. From what I remember, a small place. But I did learn something interesting, and when I was at the museum, I saw this photo of a Cadillac that was made of all different parts. That had only one tail fin from one year, another tail fin from another year, the lights, the different, and nothing matched because the car was like a Frankenstein made out of different year parts. And I had no idea what the story behind it was until yesterday when I was listening to a CD that I have, and there's a song on there. I forgot the name of it, but it basically it talks about this. It's a beautiful, cute little story about this guy that worked at a Cadillac factory, and he couldn't afford his own Cadillac, so he would sneak out part by part the car in his lunchbox, and he did this over like 10 years or something, and so when he went to go put it together, and he had all these parts from all the last 10 years, the car was, it was really interesting. It was funny. It wasn't a 1959 Cadillac anymore. It was a 1959, 1969, 70, 71, 72. And it was really strange. So anyway, getting back to this, I'm a big Johnny Cash fan. Let's get right to it, guys.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, you've been a star forever, and you're still as big a star as you've ever been. You've got these 6 Video Music Award nominations. How do you feel about that?
Kind of overwhelmed. I'm very grateful for the nominations and for all the votes.
Yeah. Do you enjoy the video process? Do you like to make videos?
Not especially.
Yeah.
No, not especially.
Why not?
Well, I don't know. It's just work.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's really fun. Like I enjoy doing the Hurt video. Mm-hmm. I enjoy doing that very much because I felt we were doing something worthwhile.
Yeah.
That it was something that was kind of special.
It was a very emotional video. I mean, did you feel very emotional?
I did.
Doing it?
I did. I felt very emotional doing the Hurt video. Yes.
Where did the song come from? Did Rick Rubin play it for you and say, "We're going to do this song"?
Yeah.
What did you think when you first heard it?
Yeah, Rick played the song for me, and when I heard the record, I said, I can't do that song. It's not my style.
Yeah.
He said, well, let's try it another way. Let me do something. So he put down a track, and I listened to it. So we started working on that. From there, we started working on it until we got the record made.
Yeah. How did he come? How did he approach you to be on his label?
I was doing a show in California, and when I came off stage, my manager, Lou Robin, came to me and said, there's a man here named Rick Rubin that said he would like to meet you, that has a record company, and he would like to record you. And I said, I don't want to meet him. And he said, yeah, I think you might like him. I said, why? And he said, well, he's different. He's not like the rest of them.
So true.
And so I told him to bring him back, and so I went back, and there's Rick, and immediately I liked him. Mm-hmm. And I said, so if you had me on your record label, what would you do that nobody else has done? And he said, what I would do is let you sit down before a microphone with your guitar and sing every song you want to record. Just you and your guitar. And I said, you're talking about a dream I had a long time ago to do an album called Late and Alone. And he said, that's it. He said, that's the kind of record that we want to make. Well, that was my first American record.
And looking back at all that you've done.
Okay, this is what I'm slightly confused about. I've made records before. I'm not at all comparing myself to Johnny Cash, only in that I was able to record whatever I wanted, whatever I wanted to do, because I had complete control of my record. I could do whatever I wanted. And I did. I put 7 records out and I did exactly what I wanted. Now, I've never been with a label. So my thought was, if he was asking that guy Rick what he could do for him, couldn't he have done that himself? I mean, or were his hands tied because of a contractual agreement with another record company that prohibited him from? I would imagine Johnny Cash could had the resources to just record every song that he always wanted to record but didn't. So that's what I'm really confused about. But this is a great interview.
And do you have any regrets about what you've done, or do you think there's so much you've accomplished?
I used to, but I don't. I forgave myself.
No. That's good.
When God forgave me, I figured I better do it too. So everything's all right now.
But going back to songs like Folsom Prison Blues, and that's about shooting somebody, and some of your songs are about, God, love, and murder. Did people criticize you for that sort of song back in those years?
Always have.
Yeah.
They always have. I've always had it pointed up in my face that I wrote a song with a line in it, like I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. But I wasn't the first. In the late 20s, country singer Jimmy Rogers, in one of his blue yodel songs, had a line that says, I'm going to shoot poor Thelma just to see her jump and fall. He may have been the first to write a line like that. I don't know. But I wasn't thinking of Jimmy when I wrote it. I was thinking that I was in that prison. That's where I try to put myself in the place of that I'm singing about. You can't let people delegate to you what you should do when it's coming from way in here, No. And somebody comes up in your face with something, tells you what you ought to do, then you can take them at their word, or you can just turn your back. I wouldn't let anybody influence me into thinking I was doing the wrong thing by singing about death, hell, and drugs.
No.
Because I've always done that, and I always will.
Wow, that was really heavy. I liked it. Obviously, he's a very devout, and I could tell by listening to some of his music that he's a pretty religious guy. And when I personally hear people like him and hear him talk like that, I immediately think about my own beliefs, and I don't have that commitment and belief and faith. I don't have that faith that he has. I don't have that faith that he has. Sometimes I wish I did. I have some faith. It's not like I have zero. I'm not an atheist. I guess you might call me an agnostic. I don't know if you want to, put that label, or, if it helps you. Yeah, maybe that's where I'm at, somewhere in there. But I kind of intellectually understand that having that faith could help to get rid of a lot of fear in everything. A lot of fear in everything. Of course, it does come with some other fears that maybe you could live without. But it's possible that, the fears that it alleviates are more than the ones that they create. I don't know. I will find out. But when I see an older guy that's clearly at the end of his life, He looks like I don't know how much longer he lived after that interview, but I think he was always like that. But my point is, I wonder if I should be a little bit more like that. But I'm, always open to it. That's the thing. I am completely open to it. But it's hard because I've watched so many of these atheist shows on YouTube that now my head there's a lot of very logical, interesting ideas that came out of that side of it too. So now my head's all screwed up. But I like it. I'm okay. I'm okay with it. Let's get to this
You were
interview.
married for more than 30 years. What's the secret to that? How do people stay together?
We were together 40 years.
Oh,
we worked on the road together
yeah.
since 1963, and we got married in '68. And the secret for a happy marriage: separate bathrooms.
That's it?
I think so.
Yeah, I do that. My wife and I do that. We have separate bathrooms. Not by definition. It's an unspoken thing. But we use each other's bathrooms. There's no thought about it. There's no rules. But generally, it's clear which one is mine and which one is hers. If you want to say his and hers, it's the one I use the most, and then that's the one that she uses the most. And you know what? I think he's right. I think it's probably a good thing.
When June passed on, did she have any advice for you? Did she say, keep going, keep making music? Or?
Oh, she always said that. Oh, yeah. She was my great encourager. She loved the Hurt video. She loved it. And I'm so glad she lived long enough to see it do what it did and to get the attention that it got. Because she did love the Hurt video. And she was my biggest critic, too.
No.
If she didn't like something that I did, she told me about it in a hot minute.
I imagine it must be to be married so long and then to lose someone. I imagine people would sometimes just want to stop and say, because spouses sometimes just follow each other. But you're still going and ready to go. Where do you get the energy, the strength?
She told me in the hospital, said, go to work. I said, what are you talking about? She said, don't worry about me. Go to work.
Oh.
And at the funeral, I could almost hear her saying, go to work. 3 days after the funeral, everybody said, you're crazy. But 3 days after the funeral, I was in the studio.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
and I stayed in the studio for 2 weeks. And it was great therapy for me. And I think I accomplished more in that couple of weeks than in most of the other year combined.
How much?
Did he choke up a little bit there? I couldn't really tell. For a second, his voice wavered when he said it was good therapy. I don't know. I was really sad about that, to hear that, but
His record making change? Well, it's changed a lot, I'm sure, since you were at Sun Studios. Is it just way out of control now? Is it just too big?
Oh, no, it's easier.
Oh.
It's easier. But with all the new technology, it's great.
Wow.
But with the Pro Tools and all that.
I wonder how you, when you look back at what you've done, do you realize this monumental amount of work that you've created and what it means in American music? Do you feel like you're in a monument of American music? Or
it's a great
do
question.
you just look at yourself as John Cash?
Just as John Cash.
You must know how people feel about you, right? Do you hear from a lot of fans all the time?
Yeah, quite often. I hear from a lot of fans, yeah.
What do you think about that? What do you think about
Look,
that?
I appreciate all that, all the praise and the glory, but it doesn't change the way I feel about anything, really. I just do what I do and just hope that people enjoy it and just try to be myself in whatever I do.
No. I talked to a lot of younger musicians, Kid Rock and Bono from U2. You have so many fans among musicians. I mean, do you get to meet them, or do they write to you or call you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I get to meet them. I talk to Bono quite often, and I've never met Kid Rock yet. I'm looking forward to it. My little world has been kind of limited, lately, since June's death. kind of hung close to home here.
You were there at the beginning of rock and roll music. Do you still keep in touch, like Jerry Lee Lewis? Do you hear from any of these people?
I haven't heard from the Killer in quite a while. I get an invitation to his birthday party every year. I haven't heard from him in quite a while.
Yeah.
I understand he's doing well. Glad to hear
so.
that.
Yeah.
I love the Killer.
Yeah.
We're good friends.
Do you remember touring with those people? On the
Oh,
tours?
yes. I toured with him. There was a package of myself, Jerry Lee, Roy Orbison, and Carl Perkins.
Wow.
We toured all over the United States and Canada.
So you're out on the road in the early days with Jerry Lee and all these people, and it was a pretty crazy times.
We were all young and wild and crazy.
How crazy were you?
I was crazy as you can get. I mean, crazy. Yeah. About the time we were doing these tours, we discovered amphetamines, or I did, anyway. And Jerry was, he thought he was going to hell.
What did he say?
I mean, crazy. Yeah. About the time we were doing these tours, we discovered amphetamines.
Oh, okay, amphetamines.
Or I did, anyway. And Jerry was, he thought he was going to hell for not preaching. He went to seminary, and he wanted to be a preacher, but he turned to rock and roll, and he'd tell all of us, he'd go into a tangent some night backstage and tell us all we were going to hell for singing the kind of music we were singing. I said, maybe you're right, Killer. Maybe you are. Maybe you're right. I don't know.
Maybe you're right. Oh, man, that's funny. Jerry Lee Lewis saying to everybody that they were all going to hell because of the music they were playing, himself included. Yeah. Oh, my God, that's so funny. And Johnny Cash saying, yeah, I don't know. Maybe we will, I don't know. It wouldn't be enough to stop them from playing that music. It was so fun. Amazing.
I wanted to ask you, I think people that have no faith probably look at death as something very scary, but you believe and you have faith. I mean, does it make it easier?
Great
to look ahead
question.
And say, well, my life may end, but it's been good.
Nice interviewer.
Oh, I expect my life to end pretty soon. I'm 71 years old. And I have great faith, though. I have unshakable faith. I've never been angry with God. I've never turned my back on God, so to speak. I never thought that God wasn't there. That I knew that. So He's my counselor. He's my wisdom. All the good things of my life come from Him.
Where do you think we go afterwards?
Where do we go? When we die, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh.
Huh. Wow.
Well, we all hope to go to heaven.
Oh, man. That's a heavy interview. Oh, shit. That was a great interviewer, huh? I really enjoyed his questions. They were really, really good questions. I'm curious to know what you guys know about this particular interviewer. It sounds like I'd like to watch more of his interviews. If you guys can actually chime in and let me know and let us know who are some other guys, other interviews that we should probably check out, because that guy, I think, for my taste, yeah, man, I enjoyed that interview so much. And definitely Johnny Cash was, yeah, wow. I like his music. In fact, I would say I love his music. Now, I come from a jazz background, so I'm used to hearing a different style, different things going on in the music. But I also have, I'm Italian American and very hard, capitalized Italian as well as American. I mean, they're not like I do have a lot of Italian in me. And I have heard this kind of music growing up. It's folk music, basically, kind of folk music-y. I heard an Italian guitarist named and vocalist named Roberto Murolo, and this guy, he plays Neapolitan, a lot of Neapolitan music, and he's kind of like a Johnny Cash kind of thing, except the Italian version, and then Johnny Cash was American, and I just think it was just, to me it resonates with me, even though maybe harmonically, and as far as improvisation, it doesn't have those things, but I still very much enjoy it. What do you think? All right, guys, that's about it for me. Hey, it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice, and you take it easy, and if it's real easy, take it twice.